Been the president of our schools, one of the presidents of our school's TSA for the past 3 years, and also I've been a part of our Sage Club, Student Advocacy for Gender Equality, who helped create the World Conference this year, and I really just wanted to tell you guys about some ideas I had for something further in the future that you could, that students could plan. Alright, so I thought the name that I thought of was Genius because it would, if you put little acronyms, it would be about growing, encouragement, nurturing students, inspiring them, helping them understand each other, and supporting them. And the goal of being a genius would be to combat bullying, students with self-esteem issues, as well as the just misunderstanding of people with differences, because when you're growing up, it's just so hard to understand people that are different than you, especially in the time of middle school when everybody's just trying to figure themselves out and they're trying to fit in with each other. And I think what I came up with would really help people. So here's just 2 quotes of people, what they responded with after the World Conference this year, about things that they liked about it, and why they thought that it was something that was really worth their while. Just about how they really had their eyes open to everything that we were teaching them about all of these social justice issues, understanding people different than themselves, even if they were in those communities themselves. So the mission statement I thought of would be to be a genius, someone who stands up for themselves, others, and respects others' differences. And really, what this would be about is just people understanding how who they are is just so wonderful, and that they don't need to be like everybody else, what they think that they should be. It's just that if you learn to love yourself, it's easier to love others. And it's really true. It's what I've seen throughout my years of being alive. And I just, when people are true to who they are, they really flourish. And they're really a lot happier. And so are their peers. So, why do we need this conference? So, as I said before, middle school is a time where everybody's trying to figure out who they are, and why everyone else isn't like them. So if we're able to open them to the ideas of diversity and difference, then they're able to understand that who you are and who other people are is a-okay. And I also think that this would help decrease bullying because, and I've been doing research on this for the past 2 weeks, and I'd like to show you some of that. And with bullying, it seems to be that when people are able to understand people different than themselves, then they're able to just be themselves more and treat others with respect. As it says up here, school-based bullying prevention programs decrease bullying by up to 25%. I mean, I was in middle school a short 4 years ago, and it's a hard time for everyone. And I think the more people are knowledgeable about just everything going on with themselves and others, it would really help. Also, a little more of the effects of bullying and why this is so important that we would need something like this. And I realize that the board isn't exactly supposed to vote on this or do something like that, but I think if it were to happen, that we'd be really happy to know exactly what would be going on, and just know that what the students would be learning about and how it would really help them. So the general issues that the conference would cover would be empowerment and confidence, just in themselves, low self-esteem, practicing kindness. That's something I do every day. I try to be the best person I can, always give love to others as much as possible, and how to support others, because through misunderstanding, if people are struggling, sometimes you don't see it right away, and I feel like it's so important to see the signs when your peers struggling. Also open-mindedness, so you're able to, understand what's different than you, as I said before, and respect differences and diversity, also important. And stand up. How do you stand up for yourself and others when things are going wrong in your life or with your parents? So what students will take away from this conference, they'll learn more about how to just be themselves and how that is so okay and so great, and the power to stand up for others, which is something, you try to ingrain in people's brains that, you can stand up for yourself and you can be the person you want to be, but it's really hard. And just a quick review of some other things. What is this conference for? It would be for the Welch Valley Kidwood students, and what will they learn? How to empower themselves and to promote advocacy in their community about intersecting social justice issues, as well as attack bullying, and where it would be held at either one of the schools. Why it's important, because it would help students through one of the most hard times in their lives, one of the most hard transitions. When will it happen? And whatever. And how would it happen? I think it would be best if a stage club were to be created at both of the middle schools. So students in the club could also team up with a stage student in the high schools, and they could work together to lead workshops and things, because people really don't like listening to adults. Very sorry, but something that we saw through the World Conference was that people really like listening to their peers, and if students were to work together to create workshops and things for people to learn from, and pretty much learn from, and work on throughout their lives, I think that would be really awesome. And that is all. If you have any questions, you can contact me by either of these wonderful emails. Thank you for listening.
I just want to say thank you, Lindsay, for doing the senior project and taking the time to present it to us, and I think it dovetails really nicely with our strategic plan and the focus on student-driven schools and redefining success. So I think it's a wonderful idea.